So you come home from a hard day's work only to find Grot Bommers at your door. Amazing! So, I love these guys. You can probably tell already. So an unboxing, let's be professional here. An unboxing for Aeronautica Imperialis. Today is Orc Airwire and it's Grot Bommers. So, I'll remove the shiny in a second. But this kit contains 4 tiny little Grot Bombs. Oh yeah, and there's 2 other planes as well. But yeah, it's all about the Grot Bombs for me. I think these are fantastic. They're cute. Can I say cute? Regards 40k, the Grimdark. I think they're cool. I think they just rock. So when I paint mine up, I'll probably do a bit of stenciling on the side. Maybe like Grot's is the best or something. But I'll get to that in a minute. After I rip all this wrinkly, shiny, filthy stuff off, and then we can get right into the box. So, Grot Bommers. Yes, I'm going to be making aeroplane noises. Very mature, very grown up. What's not like about these guys? They're so cool. Yes, House Chaos already have Grot Bommers already painted by the very talented John Moyes already. And I have played a few games with them, and I do love them. So I thought I'd buy some for myself. Why? Purely because, yes, they're cool, and yes, I do have access to playing them anyway, because John's very kind and lets me play with his models, because we're all a bunch of kids. But there's an upgrade for these guys. So each plane contains 2 Grot Bombs as standard. But for 8 points, you can take 4 Grot Bombs, which is amazing. So I will show you the sprue. And as I'm showing you the sprue, I will talk about the Grot Bombs themselves. So, the Grot Bombs themselves, in my opinion, are better than any air-to-air missile, purely because when you normally fire an air-to-air missile, if you miss, and 9 times out of 10 I do, I don't know why, but anything that's got an ammo count, generally I miss, and then it's just gone, it's spent. But these guys are an ammo count, granted. But, standard bases, and you get these clear little bases for the Grots. But, once you fire them, they'll continue flying until they blow themselves up. So, when a Grot Bomb is within 1 hex of an enemy model, they can declare that they want to blow up, and on a 2 up, they blow up. If you roll a 1, they just continue flying as nothing ever happened. So basically, in that situation, they never miss. But once they do blow up, i.e. you roll the 2, on a 2 up, they do damage. So you basically, unless you roll any number initially, and then you get through to the second stage and you roll a 1, they're always going to do something. You know, they're either going to fly off, and then you've got another chance later on, or they explode. So they explode on a 2 up, like I said, but a 4 up is 2 damage. So I think they're really cool. They look great. Look at the detail on these wings here. And yes, alright, okay, the Grot Bombers themselves do have a fair few shots. I like to upgrade them for 3 points, given their primary weapon, instead of 8 shots, 10 shots. But they're still orcs, so there's still chances are hitting on 5s and wounding on 5s. But with 10 shots, it's quite a lot of shots. But they do have guns on their backs, which have 120 degrees shooting range in the side. And it's a couple of shots, it's not amazing, it's not all that. But if you decided to build these guys instead of Grot Bombs, or Grot Bommers, decide to use them as the regular bombers of the same size, using the same chassis, you can have more shots, but you don't have the genius that is these tiny little guys flying around. I think these are really good. Purely because I can lose a scarf on that guy. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I think they're really good. Grot bombs are relatively inexpensive. Orcs don't have much access to dealing additional damage, so these things are fairly accurate. The only downside is, once launched, they move 3 plus D3 hexes, and you can only move them once. So they can't fly back on themselves, they're very, very slow turning. They're not massively predictable where they're going to end up, but they're orcs. You know, end of the day, orcs aren't predictable. But this kit is fantastic. It's as good as any other kit from Aeronautica, and that is to say that they're all flipping ace. From the Tau to anything Imperial, orcs, the high level detail. Obviously it's GW, so it's going to have fairly high level detail. Here's a few fairly fiddly bits, so I would definitely recommend plastic glue. So in the kit you also have transfers, which is nice if it's held the right way around, Ross. Just as good. So I'm painting mine up as Death Skulls, purely because I haven't seen anyone else do it. No other reason than that. I've seen Goths before, I've seen, you know, Speed Freaks, but I just want to be slightly different. And hey, I am definitely slightly different. So yeah, you can use these guys as the regular old bombers, which is fine. You don't have to put the tiny little grots on it. You can even stick tiny little grots, tiny little grot bombs even underneath the wings, which look ace. Like I said, you got 8 shots as standard in the front, 2 on each side if you're like short range. They have no tailing fire options, you know, so they can't shoot behind. This is standard. You know, if you decide you want more shots and you don't want the grot bombs for whatever reason, the Heavy Bomber is the same points. It's exactly the same points. It's 28 points on the table. They both have the same hull, like I was saying. They're basically the same chassis. So they've both got 6 structure, throttle 1, ace maneuvers is 1 to 3, handling is 5 up, because they're orcs, right? Minimum speed is 2, maximum speed is 4, max altitude is 4, because of orcs. You know, the Heavy Bomber has got a dorsal turret, so at least you can fire all the way around. So you can still shoot behind if you want to, which isn't bad. I mean, because it's dorsal, obviously it's got the up profile, so you can shoot the same altitude or higher, but not lower. And it's 3 shots if you're at short range, 2 at medium, and obviously orcs, you're damaging on 5 plus, because it's orcs, right? It does have less shots in the nose turret, so 4 rather than 8, so half the number of shots, but the port and starboard big shooters, so the ones on its back, on the heavy shooter that is 6 shots, not 2. So you're thinking you got less shots in the nose, but if you think all the way around, adding all the shots together in short range, it's actually got 7 more shots overall. But what's its sweet spot? I mean, certainly not long range. They got no shots at all on any of the weapons at long range. If you went for the Heavy Bomber, I would say if you get in the middle of people's planes, i.e. there's a plane there, all the way around you, and you're in the middle, brilliant, target-rich environment, you've got a pretty decent number of shots all the way around, but they're not massively reliable, and that's why I prefer the bombs, the Orc Grot Bombs themselves, because I just think they're great. They look nice, they're the most accurate thing that orcs have access to, in my opinion. Yes, they have to move last, and they have to shoot last, but they're hitting on 2s effectively, and if you miss, you just use them again next time, and they're damaging on 2s, which is great. Like I said, extra damage on 4s. So it's a fantastic kit, once again, and it does obviously recommend not to glue the bases, so you can pivot in game if you park up next to somebody. But you definitely be seeing a lot more of these from us in battle reports. I know the next video I'm going to upload is probably going to be an Aeronautica battle report with me and the ever lovely Marcus. So these kits from Aeronautica, I think they're pretty straightforward, pretty easy to put together. This particular one hasn't got massively small bits, as you can see when I've just flown past with the sprue to show you guys. There's a few cool little conversions. I like to put magnets in there. It doesn't make a difference in game, but it's just cool when you swivel a turret and make DACAM noises. I mean, swivel a turret. But yeah, it's so detailed. They're a lot of fun just to look at, let alone play at all. So if you haven't ever played Aeronautica, it's the best game you haven't played. I really think it's awesome. And I know we always see a game and go, oh, it's a low model count, and we get tricked, and it turns out it's not. Things escalate. But with this, I very much recommend the core boxes, so the Skies of Fire or the Wings of Vengeance. I think either box is excellent. And if you don't know, there are Space Marines coming out and Eldar coming out as well. So get on it. If your local club or a mate of yours has got it, get yourself a demo. You will love it. And they're not that expensive for what they are. I think they're fantastic. Not just the Orcs. I do like the Imperials. And their planes are wicked. I was saying about the ace maneuvers on these guys are only up to 3. So what does that mean for those who haven't played Aeronautica before? What are ace maneuvers? So an ace maneuver, straight from the book, is this. So that's basically your movement of your plane. So as you can imagine, because it's a big old plane, and I said it only goes up to 3, you can see why, because it takes a while to bank and move. The Imperials, they do have some stoops, which are pretty nice, and the super fast planes will do the bank, and the Tau definitely will. The Tau are really good for that. So I haven't seen anything yet, me personally, that does an 8. So I'm thinking Eldar, because they're pretty tricksy, right? They're going to be pretty nimble, pretty fast. But yeah, thank you for watching me ramble on and tell you how much I love these. And they are wicked. Lots and lots of detail, lots of fun. So if you want to paint it super clean, that's great. If you want to paint it so it looks rusty and blown apart, why not? And the Grot Bombs are just so much fun. I think they're amazing and pretty good rules-wise. So the bomber itself, I don't think it really packs too much of a punch, but it's got quite a lot of wounds, so it's got a little bit of staying power out there. Okay. So thank you for watching once again. Please hit that like button if you haven't done already, and please subscribe and help us support the channel.